This is the fourth video in the series for the 40,000 Employee Forum. In the first videos, we were introduced to our founder, Tadao Yoshida, and we came to learn a little bit about how he developed our philosophy. In the subsequent videos, we heard from our global leaders about how we can use the philosophy, the core values, and the management principle to guide us through challenging times. In this video, we're going to talk about the fundamental behaviors and how the fundamental behaviors fit into all of this. The philosophy, the core values, and the management principle talk about the culture that we want. The fundamental behaviors tell us how to get there.
I saw something very different in YKK. I saw that they considered the community the same way they consider the employees and the customers. I heard Tadao Yoshida, and I've heard his son say on many occasions, pointing his fingers at the leaders of the company and say, your job is not to maximize profits. Maybe you read that in some book or studied it in school, but that's not your objection, that's not your mission. Your objective is to fulfill the cycle of goodness in every sense. When I was in high school and college, I worked in a cotton mill. It was very dirty work, but I enjoyed it and I liked the people. And I graduated from Georgia Tech and I went into the Navy for 3 years. And then when I was coming out of the Navy, it was like June of 1973, and someone told me that a Japanese company was looking for a textile engineer in Macon, Georgia, which was my wife's hometown. So I interviewed with them and they talked about philosophy, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't know what a philosophy was. I thought companies made product and sold product, but I didn't know there was anything to do with philosophies or anything like that. And then I got out of the Navy, I went to Lyndhurst and I worked for 2 months. And then I went to Kurobe for 3 months, from October of 1973 until January of 1974. And it was during that time that I began to realize what Tadao Yoshida stood for and what the philosophy was, and how no one prospers without rendering benefit to others, and the cycle of goodness. And that was a very good time for me to study the company and the corporate culture and everything. So that was my root.
The way that we started it initially is we had 2 to 3 hour long workshops where we gathered all the employees together and talked very much in depth about the YKK philosophy. And that of course was really wonderful and people really enjoyed it. But because it was such a long workshop, and we made very many comprehensive materials and big booklets and PowerPoint presentations and whatever, it's really not feasible to do it more often than once a year, really.
We created one of these for all of our employees. It lists the 25. And these were created by people who understood the philosophy and the management principles and the core values. Everything we put in this book is consistent with that.
We came up with 25 what we call the fundamental behaviors. And what these are again, very concrete, instructions. These are what we want for you to do. And we came up with these behaviors, and then what we do is each week we focus on one behavior, and we go in order. Every single company in every single country within our region will discuss the same behavior on the same week. So week number 1, behavior number 1, and we go all the way through. But the key to this is actually making it very, very simple.
First, I send around a little message from me explaining what that behavior means to me. Every week we will discuss one of these. Even if we're in a meeting with a customer, we will talk about this week our topic is this, and we'll discuss it for 2 or 3 minutes with our customers.
Every single week, every single meeting, we keep going over these, and then when we get to number 25, we start all over again. We started off with doing workshops that were cross-functional, and we had people from all over, from our 8 countries within our region, come in and work in teams. And I got to know, people that work in Canada and people that work in Colombia. Sometimes people feel like, oh, I have so many things to do, in my normal job, and like now I have to go to all of this effort to be, talking about the philosophy and core values, and I'm already so busy, how can I possibly, handle doing something else? But what we found in our region is that through these activities has actually helped the rest of our business work, more smoothly, and created a better atmosphere.
When things go wrong, things don't go as planned, it's important to have managers that are positive and never looking for faults in their employees.
I really enjoyed your story this week. Until relocating to Georgia about 8.5 years ago, I never fully appreciated or understood the positive impact that YKK has in Georgia and the number of people that are connected to our company through family or friends in one way or another.
This time, I was personally impacted, thinking about the huge responsibility that missing a tiny detail could mean. I got so nervous thinking about that scene, with myself as the guy with that heavy responsibility. I think this is a perfect lesson to call our attention to the importance of every detail, every person, every step we take.
As I read about your mother, tears came to my eyes. My mother is 87 and lives with me, and her health is requiring much more attention. I would like to recognize my manager for being understanding and willing to work with my schedule to accompany my mother. I have been blessed. I believe Fundamental 23 will touch many hearts.
On October the 26th, 2017, my son was in a serious accident that caused major trauma to his stomach area and left leg. He spent 27 days in ICU and had 17 surgeries. He spent another 27 days on the 5th floor trauma unit. During this time, YKK management and co-workers showed me and my family how caring they really are. I received phone calls, text messages, food, blankets, pillows, money, and much needed prayers. My family was amazed of the support we were giving from them and how management worked with me on my schedule to be with him. This made me think about the fundamental behavior, give back.